In one of my previous videos, which I released a few weeks ago, I was talking about the types of Indonesian women you want to avoid, yeah, when dating them, meeting them, encountering them. So among these types of women are gold diggers, bar girls, or women with a bad temperament. Yeah. There are more types, and if you want to know, you can go and watch the video. But in today's video, I want to talk about specific behaviors you want to watch out for and you want to avoid when dating Indonesian girls. Yeah? And these behaviors, these signs, there are actually, in my experience, when I look at entire Indonesia, not so dominating. So what I want to say is that the types of behavior I will talk about in a second here are not pervasive. They are not representative for this country, but they can happen. Yeah. So all I want to say is it is something for you to watch out for and to be aware of. Okay. And these behaviors which you want to avoid, you can more find them in places like, for example, Jakarta or Bali, you know, these touristy areas or big cities, not so much in the province. So the first behavior which you want to watch out for is if this girl or woman you're meeting is committing too easy. Yeah. What do I mean by that? Let's say you have met her either on a dating site or at your workplace, you know, and she is telling you or texting you things like, I love you, you know, things like that. Very weird stuff, especially in the beginning, you know, which doesn't make actually any sense. Or if you feel that this woman is very clingy, needy, pushy, you know, or even desperate, you know. And for my estimation, women over 30 years old, they are kind of more display that kind of behavior. I remember one lady a few years ago, which I was just getting to know in Jakarta. She was that type of a woman. She was, I think, already late 30s. And she was very pushy, very clingy, calling me all the time, texting me all the time. Then at one time we made an appointment, I remember. And then last minute I had to cancel it because something else came up. And she was like kind of freaking out and, you know, why can you not attend our meeting and this and that, calling all the time. So this kind of stuff, you know. It's weird behavior for a normal, regular Indonesian girl. Remember, Indonesian girls are shy, and if you have to decline a meeting or anything like that, then she would actually not push, she just would accept, you know. So this kind of, yeah, committing too easy, pushing too much kind of thing, you want to watch out for. The second behavior you want to watch out for is jealousy. You know, a woman who is too much controlling, you know, especially from the beginning when you meet her the first time, the second time. When you can recognize this kind of behavior, you know, then you better walk away from that woman, because again, a regular Indonesian girl, number one, she knows what she wants. Most of the girls, they know what they want in a man, and they would not do that. They wouldn't display any kind of jealous or controlling behavior, especially in the beginning, you know, asking very intimate questions about maybe your past girlfriends or whether you're dating girls now and how many girls you're seeing now, that kind of things. Especially during the first meetings, this is inappropriate in my opinion. And a normal, regular girl would not ask these kind of questions. So when you encounter these girls, dump her. This is one indication. You have to be careful, of course. You ideally want to collect several, let's say, indications to come to a proper conclusion, right? The next thing is very obvious. The next behavior is smoking and drinking. So when you go on a date with an Indonesian girl, let's say it's your first date, and of course depending where you meet, but let's say you arranged for a date in a restaurant and you're having dinner, and she drinks alcohol and she smokes. Bad call. That's a red flag. You can assume that this woman, and if she has tattoos, then you can be 100%, let's say 99% sure that she works in a certain trade. But even she's not tattooed, Indonesian women don't drink and smoke. I really have to think hard here now to think of any women, previous girlfriends, colleagues who did smoke cigarettes. I do not recall anybody except these bar girls. You know, they smoke, they drink. Drinking is their business, you know, because they have to drink alcohol because they get commissions on it, right? When they work in a bar. So be careful. I'm not saying Indonesian women don't drink at all, but the Muslim women, they don't drink for sure. You have these Chindos, these Chinese Indonesians, they drink. I know that because I hung out at these at the places where they hung out. I remember in Medan in Sumatra there was a dance club called Retrospective, very famous at the time, about 10 years ago. We went almost every weekend there, I remember, and this place was crowded with Chindos. This was a Chinese club basically. I don't know where the regular girls hung out. They hung out at other places, but yeah, no, the Chinese, they are heavy drinkers, you know, and they have the money. Even in Indonesia, the Chinese are a little bit more wealthier, you know. They have money, they have businesses, they have cash, and it's very funny to see how these Chindos actually party, you know, and it's crazy, and they drink, the girls and the boys. But anyway. Let's go to the next behavior you want to watch out for when you are dating an Indonesian woman. Let's say you have a conversation, it's your first date, and pretty much and pretty soon the conversation already starts to circle about money. You know, she maybe is asking you how much money you make, what kind of business do you run, what kind of position you are in, what's your monthly salary, now that kind of stuff. So very fishy for an Indonesian woman. A normal, regular woman would never do that. If you encounter such an Indonesian type of girl, then you better silently or even abruptly walk away. So that would be a little bit similar to what I hear from the United States, right? I talked to a few guys recently. They are from the States, and they're complaining about the situation there, how demanding the women are, you know. One of the first questions apparently American women ask when they go on a date, so what do you do? What are you doing? What are you doing for a living? You know, so she wants to qualify the guy and stuff like that. So that kind of stuff, yeah. When she asks questions about money, or if she is asking directly you for money, you know, if she is insinuating some stories, you know, like about her family or family problem, or she need to pay bills and she don't know how to do that, you know. When she's coming up with these kind of fishy stories, and I've talked about this in previous videos as well, then stay away from these women. They might be just gold digger, and they want to find out very quickly how you tick and how you respond and react, because time is money. These women are also smart, they're not stupid, so they want to qualify you. But if they think and feel that you are so stupid to be willing to help her financially or to give out money, then yeah, they will play their game, right? Sign number 4 for a behavior you want to watch out for. I mentioned this in previous videos. Again, let's say you are on your first date or second date and she starts talking about her ex-boyfriend a lot, you know, and most likely complaining about him and this and that. Again, Indonesian women do not talk about past relationships, especially not on their first dates, yeah? And you, very important, you should not do the mistake and ask them about her past relationships, about her past boyfriend. So for example, so tell me about your, have you dated a foreigner before? Or you would ask, tell me about your ex-boyfriend. Was he Indonesian and how did it go? Why did you break up? Do not make the mistake and ask these questions. Very important. You do not do that in Indonesia. It's very rude and very unpolite or impolite. I know in Western countries it's different. Also in Germany it's different. We are way more open to discuss these things. But in Indonesia you don't do this. And so, and she also, a normal regular girl would never ask you for your past relationships. That maybe comes later when you have established already a certain level of trust, you know, if you know each other already quite well, or even you are a couple already, then I think it's okay to ask these questions. And your girl also will come. You know, Indonesian women are very funny. They always, not always, but many times and most of the times, and even my girlfriend, she is still doing this. She is doing like that. Can I ask you a question? So that can be person-to-person discussion, or it can be via texting, you know. They are very cautious and very polite. They're not just go ahead and ask. She is not going ahead and just ask the question. She is especially, and when I get this question from her, hey Marcel, can I ask you a question? Then I know already something delicate is coming up, because a private question is coming up. Yeah. So this is the way how they kind of setting the stage, you know. And there you can see the mindset of these women. And I assume also the men, they do that, I don't know. But the women are very considerate, you know. They think before they ask, most of the time. And they value your privacy. They know exactly how sensitive this is. You know, we in Germany, for example, when we go on a date, of course, we also are presenting ourselves from the best side, right? But we ask questions. We don't ask any stupid questions, right? We try not to ask any stupid questions, but we are more direct, you know. On a German date in Germany, I could ask this girl, you know, so tell me, would you mind talking about, tell me about your ex-boyfriend, you know, I don't know. But I would never ask this German girl like, hey, sorry, can I ask you a question? Because that would be very weird, you know, if I would deliver this kind of introduction. Hey, can I ask you a question? I would come across as a weirdo, you know. So, but the Indonesian girls, they do that, you know. Can I ask you a question, you know? Yeah, sure. So, and then they will go ahead, you know. Yeah, talking about ex-girlfriend. Don't ask her any questions. If she is talking about her ex-boyfriend without you asking her, then it just means her ex-boyfriend is very much still in her mind. Forget it. Drop her. Yeah? No need to waste any more time. I've been through this. I can tell you stories, and it doesn't make sense, you know. And the last sign I want to mention here today is the last behavior you want to avoid when dating Indonesian women is when you're sitting across a complainer, a nagger, you know, somebody who is complaining how hard life is, how tough her job is, and how difficult everything is, and how, I don't know, how less money she has, and this and that, you know. I'm talking about her state of mind, the general vibe she is omitting, right? A negative attitude, a negative mindset. Indonesian women they are they don't have a negative mindset, especially not when they go on a first date. If they meet a stranger, you don't want to come across as a complainer and a storyteller and how bad everything is, right? There's clearly something wrong with this woman. She wants to manipulate you and she wants to test you. She's testing the waters, how you might respond, you know. But if you respond in a way that you are, let's say, oh yeah, what's your problem? Let me help you, you know, I'm your savior, I'm your rescuer, you know, I'm exaggerating a little bit, but if you display that kind of behavior, she's got you on her hook, right? So be careful with that. Complainers, naggers and stuff like that, you want to avoid them in any case. So again, to conclude this video, the points I gave you here, the signs of behavior you want to avoid when meeting Indonesian women, they can happen. Yeah, I did not encounter many women who were displaying that kind of behavior, but it can happen. Yeah, I lived 4 years in Indonesia. I worked at different places, and I also traveled to many other places inside of Indonesia. Dating is actually very safe in Indonesia. You do not have so many spoiled girls, so many scammers like in other Asian countries. And you also have to consider the ratio, you know, there are 270 million people living inside of Indonesia. So for that amount of people and amount of girls and women available, you have a relatively low rate of these bad temper, gold digger, scammer, bar girls thing, you know. So this is just a warning for you to have it on your radar, keep that in mind. But other than that, you know, I trust your ability to judge and your ability to discern, right? If not, you have to develop it. And don't forget, good Indonesian girls, they are shy, they are modest, they are respectful, they are sweet, they are polite, they have manners, and they are very considerate. Yeah? So, and when you meet this kind of woman, if you get that kind of vibe, then congratulations, you have just met a good Indonesian woman. And with that being said, I'm checking out for today. Thanks for watching. I'm gonna see you in the comment sections. Let's see what you guys have to say, and I'm gonna see you in one of my next videos. Take care, bye bye.